team mock draft. We are drafting from pick 9, and we are on the clock. First guy's gone. JJ, Chase, Bijan, Barkley, Lamb, Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors. And that brings us, it's really only, for me, Puka Nacua right here. I would have liked to have seen Malik fall to this spot, and I would have taken them pretty interchangeably. I would have taken Amon-Ra St. Brown after Malik and Puka. So I like Puka in this spot. Here, I'm not considering Derrick Henry. I'm not considering Ashton Jeanty over Puka. If I was at pick 10 and everyone was gone, then I would go Jeanty. But in this spot, I'm just taking the wide receiver that I trust. Matthew Stafford may have some issues with his back right now. I'm hoping that he's healthy by the time the year starts. It's early August. I'm going with Puka Nacua. I don't trust a 31 going on 32-year-old Derrick Henry. I would have liked Nico Collins or BTJ in a similar spot. I would have liked it if they had fallen to us. Here, I'm drafting between, I would have liked, I think Devon Achane did fall to us. I misread that. So I'm probably leaning Devon Achane here. If he was gone, I might consider Drake London. And if I was a little bit further in, I would consider Bucky Irving. But for me here, it's Devon Achane, Drake London, or A.J. Brown. And I'm going to take Achane because he has a very real shot to be running back number 1 overall. In PPR and half PPR, he just catches the ball a lot. I'm expecting the Dolphins to bounce back this year. I really like the upside on Devon Achane, and the downside is not nearly as bad as you think. Like last year when it was Tua out, they also had their normal backup quarterback get hurt. So they signed a practice squad player from the Ravens. I don't think that happens again. I'm not worried about any sort of issues with Tua. I'm going with Devon Achane. He just catches the ball and is so incredibly fast. What we're hoping to have fall for us, possibly some of these receivers. We'll take a look at who gets back to us. So after our pick, London, A.J. Brown, Bucky Irving, the quarterbacks go in the second round. I would not be taking a quarterback in the second round. It comes back around to us at this spot with who's on the board. What I'm thinking right here is, can we grab Kittle and have Kamara fall to us on the way back? If Kamara doesn't fall to us, that means it could be maybe James Cook. I'm not really looking at Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow here. I'm not taking a quarterback this early. There's just so many good quarterbacks late, even in a 12-team league. So my choices here are really only between Kamara, Garrett Wilson, and possibly James Cook, Kittle, Mike Evans. So I guess that's a lot of choices. I think I would be most upset if Kamara didn't get back to us, though. I just think he's going to be a top running back option. No, I'm going with Garrett Wilson here. So I really like Kamara. If he makes it back to us, I'll take him. But I like Kamara more than... I feel pretty confident Kamara is going to be a top running back option. So we're going to see if he comes back to us. I want the upside swing of Garrett Wilson. So we have Puka Nacua, and then we could have two... It could very easily be 2 top 10 wide receivers if Wilson hits with Justin Fields on the Jets. So it did work out for us. We got Kamara coming back to us, and that's just going to be locked in, like really solid 2 running back production. Both guys catching the ball, both guys just working with speed rather than power up the middle. I think that's really safe 2 options. So we didn't get George Kittle in there, and now we'll be looking for kind of who else could fall to us. Like I wanted Hawkinson to fall to us at 210. Other tight end options that I'm considering now would be possibly Travis Kelce with our next pick, or Mark Andrews. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to risk it and see, I might just hope that Kelce falls to us here. At this spot with the options that we have, I'm not going for David Montgomery, and I'm not really targeting him here in the 5th round in many situations. For the past couple of years, David Montgomery has been the cheat code. You draft him, and he's just going to be a top option. As he gets older, and the offense changes in Detroit. A lot of coaches are leaving. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, so I'm not really relying on him. In this spot, I'm leaning between RJ Harvey as a topside stud running back, George Pickens to have a bounce back year, or Tet McMillan with 2 wide receivers. He could end up on a bench for us, and we're waiting to see if he breaks out. So I think I'm going to go Tet McMillan as the main piece in Carolina. And I'm going to hope for Travis Kelce to get back to us. If Kelce doesn't get back to us, I'll probably take Travion Henderson for a big upside rookie pick. So with Tet McMillan, if you draft him here, you are going to need to expect that you're not going to have him as a main producer in week 1, week 2. It's just not that common for rookies to produce right off the rip. Last year, Brian Thomas Jr. did in week 1 and then had 2 down weeks afterwards. Justin Jefferson in 2020 had a pretty slow start. He did have 1 boom week and then a couple weeks of like 5 points, 8 points. That's hard to trust. So I'm not totally trusting Tet McMillan early. Here, I'm going to lock up tight end. I still feel confident that Travis Kelce can repeat what he did last year. So if we pull this up, 2024, a slightly slow start, but PPR 25 points, 22, 20, 2.8 is a rough week, 12, 13. Like he was still a top 12 tight end without playing in week 18. Positional rank last year in PPR, tight end 5. I don't really care that he's old. I think he's in a little bit better shape this year compared to last year is what I'm hearing. I don't totally trust that, but I like Travis Kelce way more than any option not named Mark Andrews. And he's here and it's not a reach. I'm going for it. I'm not going to risk it a lot with tight ends. I'll risk other positions because I trust who will come back. Like we haven't taken a quarterback and I haven't really thought about taking one. With tight ends, like Bowers, Kittle, McBride, Hawkinson, Laporta, those are the ones that I really trust. See, Mark Andrews does not come back to us. It's possible later that I grab one of the rookies and we hope to see another rookie breakout. So that'd be Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren. But that's low percentage chance to me. I like the safety of Travis Kelce there. So in this spot, I mentioned we are worried about Tet McMillan playing early. I'm not worried about Jakobi Meyers. I think he's just going to be a solid flex option, top 24-ish, 24 to 30 receiver. And with this team, because we took Tet, I feel like we can take kind of the safer option here where I would go with Jakobi Meyers over, really Khalil Shakir's hurt, so this ADP will change. Deebo Samuel, I'm not really sure of his role. I feel safest with Jakobi Meyers, and I'm really only looking for safety here to compensate for what could be a slow start for a rookie. Like Tet McMillan could be a league-winning pick, but he's not a week 1 winning pick. He's not a week 2 winning pick in my mind. I need him to be winning weeks for me in weeks 10, 11, 12, 13. Week 5, I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but I trust Jakobi Meyers to get me something. And we still have 2 really good upside running backs. Another option I would be looking for here, let me see if he just went off the board. Round 7, Caleb Johnson. Another rookie running back, big upside option. So if he had fallen to us here at 7-9, I would probably just look at that because rookie running backs do come on a little bit quicker. And he has the draft capital, the draft pedigree with the Steelers. I think they took him in the 3rd round. Like pretty often teams will put a 3rd round rookie as their lead back early in the year. Like running backs just don't take as long to develop, and it doesn't take as long before a team trusts them. So I'm going Jakobi Meyers on that pick just for the safety to help with the wide receiver development. Here, I'm shooting an upside play for quarterback. We're going Bo Nix. I could also consider Kyler Murray here. We're looking for a quarterback that could be excellent. So we might see a big second-year breakout for Bo Nix. He has a lot of college experience. I like the system that he's in Denver. I like the general receiving group that he has there. And I like the changes that they've made, bringing in multiple better running backs, better pass catching running backs. So all of that stuff would go to Bo Nix, like yak on a dump off to the running back. That'll work. He can run. He doesn't throw very far. I think his average depth of target is among the lowest, but he has a high completion percentage and he can run. So I'm okay with trusting Bo Nix. If it doesn't totally work out, if it doesn't have a massive second year breakout, I'm okay with just relying on his feet. And I'll probably draft another quarterback later just for another upside swing. So that could be Justin Fields, Drake May. Here, I'd consider Nix over Goff because Nix has more upside. And in these 12-team leagues where you're only really starting 7 guys, two running backs, 2 receivers, a quarterback, tight end, flex, that's 7, and then kicker defense. I want these upside plays. So similarly here, like Cam Scatterbo's hurt. If he wasn't hurt, I would consider that an upside play. I'll take the rookie Emeka Egbuka here, or I'll take Ricky Pearsall as upside to move into a much larger role for San Francisco. So last year, Ricky Pearsall was drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, was shot in August, and then did not play until later in the year. I'm going to say it's hard to come on to an offense after that sort of recovery, get your cardio back up, learn the playbook. You weren't in camp learning it. I'm going to forgive some of the slowness to his start. Other options here would be Javonte Williams it's kind of just a dart throw, but in the 9th round, we're saying, like, is he the starter for Dallas? I've seen the head coach for Dallas, Schottenheimer, use like late round running backs, kind of running backs that we're not really thinking were that good, and find a lot of success with them in Seattle. Think like Chris Carson, 7th rounder. It was pretty good for Seattle. That was all Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, that was Brian Schottenheimer as the offensive coordinator. I'm not sure he did everything there. In a spot like this, I would probably consider Emeka Egbuka for an upside, Ricky Pearsall for upside, and then I think I'm going to go with, it's either Javonte or Egbuka. I'm going to go Egbuka here because I like the 2 running backs that we have, and we'll probably grab one more. I was hoping to see Jordan Mason get back to us. We did get Javonte to come back to us, and in this spot, I'm thinking either Javonte Williams or Ramondre Stevenson. Javonte Williams could have a much larger role than we think, and I think Ramondre is going to have a larger role than we think. Could be a goal line opportunity. This is a guy that would fill in for a flex week for us, or fill in as a running back on a bye week. We're not looking for key starters here. I don't see a ton of big upside options. Possibly J.K. Dobbins would be in the same idea. Probably higher upside for Dobbins if he hits in Denver. So it'll look like a little bit of a reach, but in round 10, I don't really care how far off of ADP I am. And because I like the upside play of Dobbins being a goal line back, being just a first and second down running back for Denver as RJ Harvey develops, I'm going to go with Dobbins. When he was healthy last year for the Chargers, he was pretty good. When Javonte Williams was healthy in Denver, it wasn't really good. Ramondre Stevenson has some issues with fumbling and coach trusting him. I think that can be an issue with the coaching regime there, not totally trusting him. So I went with something that just felt like a little bit more upside and safer. In this situation, same reason I liked Javonte Williams, I would consider Jaden Blue. He could be the lead running back, and we're looking for, in rounds 11, you need to consider every guy here as someone you might just be dropping after week 2. So you will know pretty early, is Jaden Blue going to take over the role? We'll see, is he efficient with his carries in week 1 or 2? I don't need to see him be the star. I need to see, how does he do with the carries he gets? Is that progressing through the first month, the first 6 weeks? Similar to what we saw with Bucky Irving last year. He wasn't the main guy to start, but he was really efficient, and Rachaad White was inefficient. So we're just tracking things like that throughout the year. So I would consider Jaden Blue here. I would also take the shot on Justin Fields or Drake May or JJ McCarthy here. So what I'm going to do is scan for other running backs. Here's like Tank Bigsby could be an option here. Bashal Tutin could be an option at the next pick. We're looking for unsure situations where if someone takes over the lead role, they would become the guy. Or we're looking at who I was just talking about, Jaydon Blue. Yeah, Jaydon Blue. Unsure situation could be the lead guy. There's a couple of those here that could fall, so I'm going to just snag Justin Fields. Justin Fields has top 12 upside easily. When he's a starter, he's generally a top 12 option at quarterback. So we could have passed on Bo Nix and relied on just getting Justin Fields in the 10th or 11th, and we're going to get really good production from him. We could do the same thing with Dak Prescott in the 10th. Like, we don't need to take Bo Nix. We're hoping for a massive progression in Bo Nix so that he would be a top 4 quarterback option with his rushing upside. Otherwise, we're going to rely on the safety of Dak Prescott or Justin Fields. So we grabbed Fields there, hoping that another one of these running backs would come back to us. We could either go Jaydon Blue, we could go Tank Bigsby, Bashal Tutin. I assume ETN has probably been taken. I've been yapping. Yeah, ETN in the 8th. ETN is the guy I think takes over the role in Jacksonville. So I'm either going Tutin here or Jaydon Blue. And I'm going to go with Jaydon Blue. We're just shooting for options to be the second guy or to free us up to make a trade with Achane and then rely on these guys. Or these are guys that if they don't hit right away, they're going to be cuttable. Last swing option that I'll go for is a rookie upside play. In round 13, I'm going to snag Jack Bech. Rookie for the Raiders. We have Jakobi Meyers. I'm taking the second option there. It just kind of covers more of our bases. If the offense changes so that it goes from being Brock Bowers and Jakobi Meyers to Brock Bowers and Jack Bech, we're covered. At this point, it's just kicker and defense. So let's talk about the team that we've built here. Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Tet McMillan. We have 2 big upside swings, and then we have a bit of safety in Jakobi Meyers. So that's what we're looking to have a balance of. In these 12-team leagues, you're going to need the best guys. So we want guys that have the chance to move up to top 5 at their position. You want to take a couple swings like that and then have a little bit more safety. Jakobi Meyers is that safety. Ibuka is that late season upside. Tet McMillan is that late season upside. Kamara is a bit of safety. Achane, I think, is a bit of safety. And then in round 1, you're not really getting any of that. You're just drafting a stud. So that's where we went with Puka Nacua, and we took him over Derrick Henry because I think there's big risk with Derrick Henry. We've been saying it for years. I don't want to be the one holding the bag. Personally, things I have said are I'm okay with getting out a year early, and I'm going to keep saying it. In past years, when people were saying that about Derrick Henry, though, he was going round 3, round 4. Now he's in round 1, and it's just too much risk for me. So in round 1, at the back half, you're going to be having some of those risky guys. I'm looking for safety. And to me, that feels like Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, not Derrick Henry or McCaffrey. I would also consider just taking Brian Thomas Jr. over Henry or McCaffrey. This is going to auto-pick the rest of the team, but I think we're good. We'll wrap this up. Thank you very much if you've made it to the end. If you've made it to the end of this Pick 9 video and you want to see a different pick, let me know in the comments. If you hated my pick, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Thank you.